da da da
Alright, everybody, how's it going today? I am here. I am Sandwich Pants. Is that somebody who just typed in? No. Then what the hell is that? Oh, is it showing my chat thing? Yo, really? Okay, well. So what are we doing today? The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Oh, great. As soon as I actually start looking for a fucking game. Okay. Let me turn off my Wi-Fi. Because the game is telling me that they're having trouble. If I can't really connect, then I'm probably gonna end up, you know, bouncing on. Ooh. Dropping frames, huh? That's not good. I can't change the latency settings on here. Pretty sure. Oh, I don't have it set up over here. That's probably why. Dumb. I'm dumb. Oh well. Alright, so we're getting into some trials today. And ooh. 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 I wonder if I can. Do I have enough bandwidth?
Trials of Osiris.
Here, let's just do this one.
Your life is precious. You only have one. Be careful.
Alright. So what are we talking about today? Well, I'm playing some trials, and I'm gonna kind of ramble a bit about... Holy shit. That is a terrible connection.
The round is yours. Go. Fight.
Alright, definitely can't run the music.
You lead. Your opponents follow. This is the way it should be.
Holy shit, that's some lag. Yeah, y'all, I may not be able to stream today. Sorry.
Only one ally is left.
Well, fuck.
This round
Well,
is theirs.
okay, actually,
You can win the next.
I'll be able to stream. I just have to do a thing, okay?
Destroy this tide.
We're just gonna go to solo
All
cam for
teams
now
are tied. Suspense. I
and
love
see if that reduces the load.
Only one enemy is left.
I know I hit him.
One ally is left. It's in their hands now. Your ally is back in the fight. Only one ally is left. It's in their hands now. This round is theirs. but
This
you
is
can win the
not
next.
good. This is very not good.
The The other team is pulling ahead. Stand in their way.
Kind of curious as to why my bandwidth dropped.
Only one enemy is left.
Whoa, his shield bat hit me from that far? Wow.
I love
Insane.
to watch you win. You are back in the fight.
Yeah, this is bad.
This tie cannot
Okay,
continue.
so I'm gonna
You are there.
close that
Fight.
and see if that helps. 'Cause if my bandwidth goes up, then I think we're alright. Around the fucking corner, Jesus Christ. Hey, what do you know? Yeah, closing out the...
Enemy is left. 1 minute left, my friend.
Alright, does that mean I can go back to
Opponent revived.
this
Only one enemy is left.
and improve my...
Your opponent took the round. Takes the next. Opponent revived.
Kitten?
You are behind.
Let me do my stream and then I'll play with you, okay? Let me do my stream. I love you, kitten. Let me get this game off, alright?
You are all
Attacking
that's
my
left.
feet.
This is your fight to win. This round is there. You can win the next. Opponent revived.
Kitten, love the kitten, oh.
Match point. Guardians make their name at the brink of defeat.
Yeah, this is a terrible showing on my end. I really just can't fucking do anything though.
Only one ally is left.
Oh my god, kitten! I'm not even wearing shoes. Get your fucking claws out of my feet.
1 minute left, my friend. Next time, my friend. Next time.
Okay. So. I guess. We're not gonna do the Destiny thing. So, right now, let me do this. And get things set up. I was going over some... Oh, good, it still got it. I was going over some old debate videos from like from Marxist-Leninists, especially debating like Bosch and whatnot. And I noticed a very consistent thing. Come here, kitten.
Come here, kitten.
Ow. They didn't seem to understand how to synthesize information. So like especially in the, you know what, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna do my own retrospective on that. Ow! My own review of it, I guess. Let me pull it up. Oh, good. Let's go to just game. Boom.
Wait, do you think an idealism is when you construct a hypothetical? Do you think those mean the same thing? You're going to lecture me on dialectical
There's
materialism.
no
You're
point in
struggling on
having
this.
this discussion. There has been what some might consider drawn to you, and they said you would be reasonable. I don't watch a ton of your content, so I'm taking their word for it and gonna talk. I want to talk to you in good faith, and I know that there has been what some might consider drama or beef going on between you, me, and Luna, and some other people developing for some time. So I just want to address that and give you the opportunity to respond to some questions and things like that. So does that all sound like what we kind of agreed to in the emails?
Yeah, my pleasure. No, this is a bit of a novelty for me. Normally, when people disagree with me, they sort of just take shots on Twitter. I actually have a lot of respect for people who like hashing it out. Whatever my reputation might precede, I do actually enjoy just calmly talking about disagreements. But yeah, hit me up. You sent me an email the other day, and some people in chat were complaining like you put out a video shit talking me. But in the email, to your credit, you did say, "Hey, I'm gonna put this video out, so don't interpret this as some kind of like sneaky, So yeah, I don't think they have anything to complain about.
Yeah, and then also, people have differences about what's appropriate and what's not. One of the reasons I put the video out before the conversation was because I wanted to kind of formulate my thoughts and have some sort of basis to speak on. So I do want to try to get your. Yeah, I want to give you an opportunity to respond. To some of the things I said. I doubt you've had time to watch it because it was a very long video, and it's only been like maybe 11 hours since I uploaded it. So
No, I'm afraid I have not. I saw some people in my community reacting to it. Some liked it, some didn't. I'm known for having a disagreeable community, so I guess I'll see when I see.
Wait a minute, let me just. Okay, so all right, so yeah, I think we're all on the same page about that stuff. So the meta discussion, I guess, is out of the way. We could talk about the real issues.
Yeah, hit me up.
Okay, so there's three things I told you.
Okay, so I totally didn't even realize my my microphone was muted. Kitten. I wanted to check stuff, make sure that everything was being displayed appropriately. And ow, kitten, ow. Oh, she's a kitten.
A dapper.
So yeah, fuck, I'm just gonna back up some over here, and now we've got that. I didn't want the audio to double up, so I'm gonna have to just let me know in chat if there's a audio issue. Kitten, no!
Like that, some didn't. I'm known for having a disagreeable community, so I guess I'll see when I see.
Okay, so all right, so yeah, I think we're all on the same page about that stuff. So the meta discussion, I guess, is out of the way. We can talk about the real issues.
Yeah, hit me up.
Okay, so there's three things I told you in the email, like three things I really wanted to kind of talk about, and the first thing is about.
Yeah, it's early conciliatory stuff. You quit it. Quit it. No!
And I don't expect this to be a very long discussion, the first part. I wanted to just talk about the responsibility that we have as creators that have a large platform, right? So like, you and I both have pretty large platforms. I've got like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. So what I was saying, early conciliatory stuff. But sorry to interrupt. I have a kitten, and she needs kitten beatings. No kitten. Oh, she's a no kitten. Kitten beatings. Oh, kitty beatings. Kitty, kitty, kitty beatings. There we go, kitty.
over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. You have, I don't know, what are you up to now? You're pretty big.
It's like 360, 370, somewhere there, I think.
Yeah, but you have a ton of people watch your stream. I mean, you have very impressive numbers in terms of watching your live stream. So I think its platform is trying to develop an understanding of your audience. And because, your audience is not a monolith, my audience is not a monolith. There are different kind of like sort of divisions within every audience, right? So you kind of have to get to know your audience and understand how the different sections of your audience are likely to react, and just kind of be familiar with your audience, right? And so, I mean, do you agree with that? I guess I'll ask first.
I don't know if it's a moral obligation, but it's definitely a good idea.
Okay, yeah. Well, here's why I think that, I don't know about the word moral, but here's why I think it's important for people, especially doing political activity, like discussing political topics and that sort of thing. I think it's important because obviously we influence our audiences, right? And if you were doing like
She's a foot fetishist kitten. She likes to go after feet. Kitten, I don't have shoes on. So, I'm just gonna lay my cards out here on the table. I think non-compete is a dumb fuck. And he doesn't have an actual ethical system, so when he says something's a moral obligation, that's just because he decided that at that moment. Yeah.
boxing streams or just like let's play videos or whatever, I think that the degree of responsibility can vary. But when you're talking about political things, you're influencing people politically, and you also have to know that there will be like mutual impact. So like you might say things and then they'll go out and do things, and vice versa, right? So I guess that's the basis of my next question, which is, you must realize that because you debate people on the far right quite a bit, and because of the nature of what you do with your debate streams and that sort of thing, that there are a large number of right-wing people who watch your show.
I don't know if there are a large number of right-wing people who watch my show. There probably is a good number of politically differentiated people, but at least in the communities that I've seen and cultivated, my YouTube comments, my Discord, my Reddit, whatever, I think the closest right bent I have is an annoying group of liberals who insist on watching me. Apart from that, I don't think I have any hard right.
Yeah, and I'm not. I don't want to use any like loaded terms like audience or followers or community. I just think it stands to reason that you're regularly having discussions with people.
She sunk a fucking claw right into the tip of my toe. Ooh, that shit hurt. Ooh. Mama kitty, you hiding under there? What you doing, mama kitty? I'll play with you too. Don't worry, just let me do my stream. I'm going over something real quick.
On the far right, there will be some overlap between your audiences. Some of them are going to come over. And law of large numbers, you have thousands of people to watch your numbers or whatever. But I guess, okay, so I'm going to move on to the next point of my platform here, and then I'll let you just totally respond to my point, because I'm almost done making my point. So if you have, if it's true that there are any right-wingers watching, the talk about...
Okay, none of this is actually important. Kitten, no. Quit it. Okay, this is all just debate, so he doesn't really have timestamps in here for the individual sections.
It happened with Luna because I'm married to her. We spend all of our time together. I monitor. I help when that happens.
I think I'd mostly deny it. There's a whole narrative about my community harassing people, but in spite of nearly 3 years of trying to track down people actually doing this, I've yet to be provided a single piece of evidence of it actually happening. Usually the initial claim is some very severe, Vosh community, harassing, like really bad stuff, right? But then I get some screenshots, and it's usually people just being kind of mean, which I'm fine with. I don't have a problem with people being mean to people I don't like. I guess it's possible that this happens. It's just not something that I've been provided substantive evidence of. If it can be provided, I'll ban those people from my community. But
yeah, so
this is the kind of thing that it's kind of hard to substantiate, right? Because like, so for instance, I can just tell you from my personal experience that since I literally look at Luna's comments every single day on her YouTube channel, I kind of get an idea. Like, she does get racist comments every day, and that's probably true in the number of those.
okay. None of this is relevant at all to anything that I'm trying to show.
Here, I guess let me put it this way. But I think that having that kind of super vitriolic statement could perhaps fan the flames. I think maybe when
do other than be silent. In terms of like harassment from my community, like the tone that I set, I'm okay with it.
that's
Yeah,
part of being,
right. Well, we're gonna have different perspectives on an acceptable level of vitriol towards people that you don't like. I guess the thing that always weirds me out a little bit is I'm very mean to conservatives. But nobody seems to mind that much.
God, it's the fucking you insulted my wife, and that's all this section is.
Issue with that,
Just
or do you think that's
okay. Why is it? What is up with my internet right now? I'm getting plenty of bandwidth to stream, but it's
like if you're debating a conservative who was gay or conservative, I certainly would.
racism is really coming from like the Groyper hate followers. I just don't think there's a relationship between the language that I use, this language.
Conscious of the way that certain people that watch your show
fucking 20 minutes in, and we're just talking about him being mean to his
I mean,
wife.
what do you think that what end does that serve? I don't get it. I don't understand how calling somebody a useless stepchild of Vietnam action on stream. They're saying that you want to go
I think
less vitriol.
Have mods. I'm totally okay.
Harassment over.
Oh my fucking god.
I usually try to proportionate to my dislike for people.
There is a power differential for one thing. That is true. It's like you didn't call her a nationalist. You called her a few other questions.
Yeah, well, there were three topics that you mentioned. Hold on. Perceived lack of understanding.
You said that people that don't address your opinions. Blah, blah, did not call you a pedophile.
You've seen the full.
Can have a positive.
Here, I'll ask you. Just follow through with me 30 seconds.
No, anyway, it's totally immaterial.
No, it's important. So in a con in which I was constructing a rule
foundation was that there can be some situations where an adult and a child can have positive outcomes. You didn't say
follow through with me.
Wait, where adults can molest children and they have a positive outcome.
Did you hear that? Did you hear him say it? Did you hear him? EJ say it? Yep.
You're the one talk. Wait, hold on. First of all, Marx was a. Imagine aliens like a honeymoon virgin. You gotta last longer than 6 seconds. Just give me a second, okay? Did I not let you talk?
Is this? I swear this was it.
Come on.
I'm not going to talk about hypotheticals with
you. Don't have to. You
don't
have to talk. You just have to listen. You just have to listen, okay? Now you can imagine a situation in which aliens come down to Earth and they say, "We're going to blow up the whole planet unless you kill this innocent kid." Now, in a consequentialist sense, killing that innocent kid. I know, right? So follow through. So in a consequentialist, I know an inability to grasp philosophy is one of my biggest issues to Luna. It makes sense.
It's idealism.
That's not what I. This philosophy and idealism aren't the same thing. Those don't mean the same thing. You can Wikipedia.
No, you're basing you're constructing hypothetical situations that have no bearing.
Hypotheticals aren't. Wait, do you think an idealism is when you construct a hypothetical? Do you think those mean the same thing? You're going to lecture me on dialectical materialism.
There's no point in having this discussion. Is my point.
Can you answer that question? Do you think idealism means when you construct a hypothetical? Have you read Capital? It's full of hypotheticals.
That has nothing to do with reality, and you think that gets you closer to the truth. That is idealism because you are making the ideal conscious processes of thought your basis for truth.
Idealism is not when you. I see the issue. You think idealism is when you think, which is why you don't. Listen, if you read Das Kapital, okay, you'll actually find hypotheticals. They're actually kind of ubiquitous. Look. Anyway, and that's
grounded in reality, though. They're grounded in actual things that happen.
So just let's finish the point. We can move on if you let me talk for 10 seconds, okay? So in that situation, you're a big customer of children in spite of me. That's it. That was it.
It is. When you think that you can find any truth that brings you like when if you use a hypothetical that's grounded in reality, then that's not. This isn't what idealism means. It's not. You don't know what that term means. Well, what do you think idealism means?
So do you mean idealism like in relationship to materialism?
No, it doesn't. But it does. But no, it does. So yes, it does because idealism is the position that the basis for finding truth, and this actually does move towards what I wanted to talk to you about. So I'm fine with talking about this now because you do.
I'm trying to find the clips because there's little things that he says where he'll like define something and then he has to add in that that's the way that Marx put it anyways, or that's the way that Lenin put it, or blah 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 blah. He can't synthesize the information to be able to describe it on his own. Like you should be able to just describe it in your own words. Like when people ask me what is like class consciousness. It's just like, okay, just being aware that you're getting fucked over by business owners, and that's just intentionally done, even though they may not like specifically have done it. It's done by the way the system, our economic system is structured. You're fucked over by your boss. They're the business owner. They will fuck you over.
I do think you misunderstand the difference between materialism and idealism, and I think you don't understand the relationship between Hegel and Marx and Engels, and I don't think that you understand the difference between historical materialism and dialectical materialism. So these are all things I do want to ask you about. So, Hegel's whole dialectic, and the problem that Marx and Engels had with Hegel, was that he sought truth on the basis of the ideal and consciousness. Okay, Marx and Engels broke with that, and they thought that the material world in objective sense data, empirical sense data, is the primary basis for truth. But they were not empiricists. They were not positivists, meaning they didn't think you could only find truth in sense data, in empirical data. Okay? Do you agree with all of those things I just said, or do you know those things?
No, I don't think that's correct. I think that's simplified in some respects and incorrect in others.
All right. Well, just tell me what you think idealism is, Bosh.
The dialectical disagreement. So first of all, idealism is a philosophical tradition dating back millennia. What you refer to as ideal, like I don't know, there are like 20 different kinds of idealism depending where you're pulling from. The juxtaposition usually posed against what Marx wrote was Hegelian dialectical idealism, which was the idea that social advancements, that ideas that human civilization was moved forward as a product of the antagonisms which arise in people's thoughts as they have competing values and virtues which fight against each other, and you achieve synthesis, which is ideally an advancement of the idea, right, of the concept.
Okay, yes.
And Marx
Can I
is
stop you for one moment?
sure.
Can I stop you for one moment? Okay. So an example of that, I think, and one of the big problems we have on the left today, and a problem that I've seen you have in your discussions, is that we have these hypothetical discussions about what we should do or shouldn't do, or after the revolution, will this happen or will this exist, and blah blah blah. And we construct hypothetical scenarios about the future, and then we think that that's what we should base all of our praxis and activism on. So
Here's the deal. When you are going over hypotheticals about the morality of actions taken during and after a revolution, that's appropriate because you're talking about the ethics of an action. If you're talking about the actual things you should do, like hypothetically after a revolution, communist utopia, blah, 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 or whatever, then yeah, that's a little bit of an idealist thing, and you probably, it's like you especially shouldn't be working about a utopia because that's utopianism, which is kind of dumb. It's nice and flowery and shit, but in practical meaning and practical senses now it's not gonna it doesn't work out the way people would hope. There's always going to be antagonisms between people's personally held values, beliefs, etc., etc. Like there's always going to be some forms of antagonism. The goal is to be able to reduce those as much as possible.
in other words, we come up with the ideas first, which Engels described as utopianism, Marx and Engels described as utopianism, and then we think like, okay, we've got this perfect vision for where we want to be. Now we have to get from here to there, and we have to dogmatically stay that course. That would be. Would you agree that that's an idealist basis for moving a movement forward, a political movement?
I think it's utopian, but I don't think it's a dialectically idealist concept. I think you could frame that belief system through dialectical materialism just fine.
You can frame that system through dialectical materialism.
Yes, you can frame a utopian system through dialectical materialism. That is entirely possible. Because, as Vosh points out here, dialectical materialism, A, isn't an ethical system, and B, is just a lens of analysis which you apply to society and history.
Frame a utopian system? Or what do you mean? I don't understand what you mean.
Dialectical materialism is only a mode of analysis. It's a theory to explain the movement, the evolution of human behavior, society, social developments. You could apply it to anything. You can analyze any system, any society through the lens of dialectical materialism. It doesn't have to be. There isn't like a dialectically materialist way of doing a thing. Outside the process of analysis, you can't like make a civilization and go like this time we'll do it dialectically materially.
The point is that you're putting the cart before the horse if you say this would be a perfect society and.
I like that person in chat who said, where is it? How can you have a plan without thinking first?
A priori, you will find out through practice what works and what doesn't. That was a big important thing that Marx and Engels pointed out, was that you can only find truth through practice and praxis.
I'm not a utopian. I agree that it is dumb to conceptualize an ideal society and then.
Okay, so when you conceptualize things with aliens and things that don't happen on planet Earth,
and this is why I say he's stupid. He's very fucking dumb. He can't grapple with hypotheticals. He can't actually engage. And so anything that he can't conceptualize, even on a hypothetical, like even just in his mind's eye, he just loses it. He can't deal with it. He's a very dumb individual. you can kind of see it in his face. He's not an anarchist, which he claims to be, or claims he was. He's not a communist. He's just a fascist, like all Marxist-Leninists. Like the online ones, mainly at least. I have yet to come across a Marxist-Leninist who actually does any actual like good real world activism. A lot of the time it's like rallies and protests, which is fine, but like take the Soul Bunny situation, for example. Soul Bunny denigrated uh, a person who is a street medic that goes to protests to do street medic work, as well as does a soup kitchen work, cooking for homeless people and whatnot, and is also a city bus driver, so works for public transport. Like, she just denigrates that person's entire activism because they asked her what she does, and it says that they're not black even though they were black. Why are they not black? Well, because they disagree with Soul Bunny. So if you disagree with Soul Bunny, you can't be black, apparently.
It's a useless rhetorical strategy.
Oh my God, this is what you were running back to? No, okay.
Yes.
So, no. Let me explain. Please listen. This can be instructive, okay? There is a massive difference between framing your pragmatic advocacy for a political system based on a utopian vision of a future that you don't have material conditions to account for, and the construction of a hypothetical to illustrate the dynamics of a moral system. If you read Capital, I promise you will find hypotheticals that are very outlandish.
Hold on. Your whole thing, you believe that you can construct a moral system where you can, before
I didn't construct it. It's just rule utilitarianism.
You can't. The material conditions determine what is morally acceptable and what's not. When the French resistance were blowing the Nazis.
No. I mean, partially you can insert, because it's not, okay, when he says material conditions, he's misusing this phrase in this manner, because material conditions doesn't necessarily, I mean, it kind of does, but it doesn't really fully encompass what he's trying to refer to it as. He's using circumstances as material conditions. The circumstances of being invaded by an opposing military force doesn't, I mean, he uses the French and the Nazis in this example because, yeah. But, it's circumstances. The circumstances. They were being invaded. If they were the invaders, it would have been right in for the in. Well, no, that's still circumstantial because what Germany was doing before they invaded France was still really bad and warranted invasion on their end. But like, just remove it from the Nazis into things. Like if the Ottoman Empire were just chilling, so one of the countries, just gets invaded. One of the countries under the Ottoman Empire gets invaded by Britain or whatever. It'd be perfectly fine for them to blow up British soldiers because they're getting fucking invaded. Like it's a little more complicated than that because it depends on the reasons for invasion. Like if they were genociding a group of people, it's perfectly fine. But broadly say if you're just chilling and the country invades you, like France was kind of just chilling and they got invaded. Yeah, perfectly fine for them to do that because the circumstances. I guess you can wrap that into material conditions, but it kind of, yeah, it's kind of not the way I'd phrase that.
That was okay because the material condition they were in, right? Do you agree with that? But it's not always okay to just go.
This fucking guy.
No, those have nothing to do with each other. No, I'm not a moral relativist. Wait, do you think slavery was moral because back then people thought it was moral?
That's exactly the opposite of what I'm saying.
The material conditions of 16th century.
Yeah, see, and now Vosh is actually using the correct usage of material conditions. What non-compete should have said was circumstances. Now, Why were the French blowing Nazis? Yeah, he did phrase. He didn't say blowing up Nazis. He did say when the French were blowing Nazis. But yeah, um, Nazism is not a material condition. No, the invasion of your country is. I, I don't actually think you could wrap that fully into material conditions. Like it might have some mild overlap, but not not really. It's the circumstances. Vosh saying the material conditions, as in they didn't have the cotton gin, they didn't have like the fucking John Deere tractors and shit like that. They didn't have all that. The material conditions for large scale agriculture and for agriculture to be a main source of economic input and output required slavery, which doesn't make it, it's not moral. It's not, and I don't think it required it. It required a lot of labor, but you could have done that in a different form. Um, but for large scale wealth generation and shit, to do what it was meant to do, slavery was needed. I guess. In a not moral but materialistic sense. I guess. Because free labor, that's the main thing. Like, they didn't have to pay slaves. And so that generated a shitload more wealth because you didn't have labor costs. But, again, immoral, wrong to do. So the material conditions, the way Vosh is using it here, is correct. And non-compete should have just said circumstances. But he wanted to sound smarter than he actually is, so he has to string together a bunch of Marxist lingo. That's why he uses dialectical materialism as a fucking ethical system. It's to try and sound smarter, and anyone who knows what dialectical materialism actually is looks at him and goes, "You sound fucking retarded, bro. You sound really dumb."
Agriculture demanded the existence of slavery. Do you think that's moral then? Like, what?
That's my point. Is that it has? I believe my morality stems from dialectical. Like, so let me put it this way.
But dialectical materialism isn't a moral system. It's just an analysis of history. These are the people who criticize my philosophy now.
Here's where you're wrong, because you are conflating empiricism and positivism and determinism with dialectical materialism.
No, he's not. You fucking idiot. He's not. And see, this just points even more in my favor. Okay, and this is the part of the debate I was kind of looking for. He's, I mean, I guess the actual part was when he was saying, you know, well, that's the way that Marx and Engels put it, anyways, just meekly, because this, along with that particular sentence, fucking Vosh's chat, goddamn, his statements here, along with the previous statement that I was at least partially quoting, it just shows, it underlines the fact that he doesn't actually understand what the fuck he's read, what he's studied, and so he can't synthesize the information. He doesn't understand it. He doesn't understand what dialectical materialism actually is. He can quote what it is, but he doesn't know what it is. He doesn't know how to apply it. He can't synthesize it. He can't describe it in his own words. Uh, he fails to be able to do pretty much anything that comes across as intelligent. I mean, keep in mind, I'm mildly blitzed right now, and I'm catching these things. I mean, yeah, I've watched this debate a few times, but like, it dawned on me just how egregious and this applies to pretty much every tanky debate that I've ever seen Vosh get into, or anybody get into. Listening to President Sunday versus Haas Infrared, that was one of the most painful fucking Dylan Burns versus Haas, painful. Vosh versus Jackson Hinkle, fucking painful. This one, fucking painful. Just complete and utter lack of understanding of any of the shit that they claim to have read. If they read it at all, then it shows how fucking absolutely 20 IQ potato brain they actually are. And if they haven't read it, then they should just admit they haven't fucking read it. Because you know what? There's a lot of Marxist theory that I've never fucking bothered to touch. Alright? A lot of it. I've read a decent number of books. I've read some Lenin. I've read some fucking Mao, even though I don't actually think they were Marxists. They get put into the Marxist archive. I've read uh uh I'm gonna include the anarchist writers because I mean they're not actually Marxists, but to be an anarchist one must first be a socialist. Pretty sure that was Malatesta who said that one, and I highly respect Malatesta's writings. So you got, him, Malatesta, Proudhon, Kropotkin, that I've read, Franz Fanon, Rudolf Rocker, Noam Chomsky, although he fell off hard, L plus ratio plus get off public platforms and stop doing public interviews because you're an old dried up hack now. Uh, uh, Ageism is actually in there, yes. I do not apologize for it. Um, God, there's so fucking many. Emma Goldman, Rosa Luxemburg. Uh, I've even read. I don't remember if he wrote anything, but I've read stuff about Thomas Sankara and like his activities, and I might have read stuff that he wrote, if he wrote anything. I vaguely remember reading something in that vein. Back when I was starting to slip into the tankyism, because I was leaving a more moderate conservative, like literally thought Mitt Romney was going to be okay as a president, uh, type political thing. I was like, Mitt Romney wouldn't be that bad. Over to where I am now, as I was making that drift, I got caught up in a lot of Facebook groups who would tell me, that these are the people that you need to read, and these people are socialists, and one of those people was fucking Gaddafi, so I read the Green Book. Read a lot about Che Guevara, and uh, I'm getting my foot attacked by a kitten again. Anyway, kind of get the point. I've read a decent amount of stuff, but I still haven't read everything. I've barely touched anything by W.E.B. Du Bois and a bunch of other authors. So, oh, and I've listened to a lot of Angela Davis.
Realism.
No, that's
But
what
one of
Luna
the
was doing.
important things that Marx and Engels pointed out, Bosch, is that through conscious activity, we can impact the material world and we can make changes. And so, for instance, people can liberate themselves by developing mass movements, but they have to develop them with an understanding of the material processes of reality. If you try to develop, so for instance, of course, all poor people don't want to be poor anymore, right? But like, if you have false consciousness and you don't have a firm grasp on how material processes work and how the world actually develops and how things can develop and how applying your consciousness to material conditions will develop reality. If you don't have that, then you will fail and fail and fail again. That's why Engels and Marx wrote Socialism, Utopian, and Scientific, because they wanted to stop remember, they were organizers, they were activists, they were actually going out, they were members of groups, they were doing things, and they had practice, and they were so tired of having hypothetical conversations with people.
There's a difference between
Okay, so is any of this?
They synthesize empiricism and positivism with people like Hume, and
you're like, well, was that train crash bad? And you're like, well, I don't.
changes in political revolutions are to be sought not in men's brains, but in men's better insights into eternal truth and justice.
It's that Marx had a doctorate, right? Like, clearly sitting and thinking is part of rural utilitarianism is really applicable.
Like in their brains,
We're not
for social relations. That's the way Marx and Engels put it.
Here we go. Yeah.
You have to base your analysis on objective data, and there are two sources of objective data. There's a material world, and then there are objective social relations. That's the way Marx and Engels put it anyway.
Okay, let me test your intuitive system then. Okay.
Yep. See? Not synthesizing. Not actually synthesizing. Just regurgitating. That's the thing people did for fucking tests in school. Learning political theory isn't fucking a thing you do to test in school. You don't just regurgitate answers. You have to be able to apply it. Holy fucking shit, dude. And this is why philosophy is also important, because learning an ethical system is a really solid foundation for being able to move forward so that you can apply hypothetical actions in a moral sense. You can try and figure out if they are going to morally be acceptable. Not if they're going to work, but if they're morally acceptable to even attempt. So Just holy shit. EJ is dumb, okay? And Luna Oi is even worse. No kitten. You fucking leave cables alone. That's my mouse cord, kitten. That's my mouse cord. Okay? Oh, you're in time. You're in timeout. Timeout, kitty. This is a timeout, kitty. Yes. Yes, she's a timeout, kitty.
Let's hit it then. Is it wrong to hit a person?
It absolutely depends on the material conditions and the situation and the objective social relations at play. There's no universal answer to that question.
Okay, I agree. So one might say that
social relations, are you going to find that term?
circumstances matter. Yeah, okay, so I agree with that. So let's say, okay,
See, yeah, he actually deciphered what the fuck was being talked about when he keeps saying material conditions and objective social relations. He could have just literally said, depends on the circumstances. Because that's true. You can't broadly ask outside of very, very narrow exceptions. So, if somebody were to start hitting me with some spicy ones, such as is SA morally good or bad, I can say with no qualms it is morally bad because there is no situation in which SAing a person is actually a good thing. There is never a moral justification for doing that. But if somebody says is killing a person always good, is killing a person good or bad, I say depends on the circumstance. For example, if they're trying to SA you, I think it's okay to take that life. I'd prefer it you didn't take their life, but you managed to incapacitate them and get away without harm. But I'm not going to morally condemn a person who does kill someone trying to SA them. So, pretty easy. And why? Well, okay, I, along with Vosh, am a rule utilitarian. So, if you take a look at it, you can kind of break it down. Are there ever any reasons to kill a person? Yes. There are. There are sometimes reasons to kill a person. Yes. There are ways that it can be morally justified. I don't think somebody stealing from you is deserving of that kind of punishment because that's fucked up and it's pretty extreme. But in terms of self-defense, I think it's acceptable. In terms of, well, in warfare, which I don't like, but if you're in warfare, somebody's, say, invading your country, then yeah, acceptable. Not something I prefer, again, but it's not necessarily a morally condemnable action. I want wars to be fought on what is it called? Damn it. The fucking gaming. God damn it. I'm trying to think of the, like, competitive gaming. What is it? I'm forgetting the name now. But yeah, put them in, like, fucking Apex Legends or something, you know. Find representatives from the countries that are like top tier at the game. Put them in there. Whoever wins wins the war. Fuck it. No real bloodshed. All virtual. All game.
okay, let's use an example where all of the cases are known. You said that I was too vitriolic to Luna. Why is that bad?
I said that you need to look at.
Okay, so this wasn't actually like a full debate review because I really don't care. We're actually going to go over a different one. God, that one's so bad. Let's not do that one. Ooh, that's the fucking perfect one. Hell yeah. Bosch Mel.
faith, so I mean, I don't
We'll
know why
let
you
the
feel the
chat
need to.
decide. Look, backpedaling
I don't
back,
really-
okay?
I'm not backpedaling though. Like you're accusing me of something and we haven't even started. All right, everyone. Hello. My name is Mel. I am a B-tier communist shit poster on.
Okay.
To the wonderful.
Nice. Okay, with introductions out of the way, let's get right to it. So before we even talk, I'm gonna play the video clip that spawned all this, just 23 seconds really quick so everybody has full context.
Oh hell yeah, let's go.
I'll let you know when it's done. And I'm blocking my own webcam here. You know what, let's not be zoomed in so you can't see how bad I end up looking. Okay. Look, I get overconsumption's a problem, but whether you like it or not, I mean, I want my fucking items. Not on board for socialism. It means cutting standard of living to like a third of what it currently is. Oh boy. What's an acceptable amount to cut the living standard down? We shouldn't have to. What is the point of socialism if people's standard of living gets cut down? Look, okay, so that was the clip, and you're familiar, so you probably know what I just showed. And then you say, I cannot take white men who yell about socialism means everyone still gets to keep the same standard of living, or isn't socialism, seriously. What about black people or people in the global south who the West profits from? The standard of living is a capitalist concept. Do you want to elaborate on that in any way?
I mean, I just want you to ask me like how you feel about like degrowth and how you feel about what I said. Like, I mean, I'm not going to defend anything that I said on Twitter because it's Twitter. So like, I'm coming here for you to ask me.
So first of all,
like
the white men thing is pretty weird. I understand broader, like generalized criticisms, but I don't know what that has to do with my argument.
Well, I mean, I'm a person of color, so if I say the word white, I think I'm allowed to, right? Like, who cares? Like, that's silly.
I didn't say you're not allowed to, but it's pretty weird.
Why do you think it's weird?
I think it's a little weird
Why does
for
it
me to
upset
make
you?
an argument, and for people to dismiss it by implying that my whiteness has something to do with the non-validity of that argument.
Okay, so let me push back on this for 1 second, and then I would like to get back on the subject, but I do want to say this. So, when we're talking about people of color, when we're talking about marginalized folks, when we're talking about anybody who is not living in the imperial core, when we're not talking about, when we look at how capitalism and
Okay. So this is definitely something I've already noticed some dishonesty that doesn't actually get pointed out by Vosh in here, because he says it down here. But yeah, says I cannot take white men who yell about socialism means everyone still gets to keep the same standard of living. Did he say everyone keeps the same standard of living? Or did he say that he doesn't think you should reduce standard of living?
and imperialism has impacted the rest of the world for the last 400 years. No one, when I say that this is a white person talking, it's not saying that like Bosch is white, don't listen to him because he's white. It's that generally like whiteness carries a perspective that is, it outweighs any other kind of marginalization. It outweighs all kinds of other factors in the discussion that you're having. So if you're talking about
you dismissing it because I'm white, but it is.
No, because your whiteness is heavier than any other marginalization that you have, and that's just a fact.
What
if
if
we're talking about
the argument that I made? Why not critique the argument? Why does it?
I mean, I can totally critique the argument, but like that's just the hyperbolic thing.
But she didn't critique the argument. She went to the, oh, white man, don't listen to whitey. Which, yeah, pretty fucking stupid, in my opinion, to go with that particular line. But, you know, that's just me, not racist over here. I don't know.
Statement that I'm saying. So you wanted to know why I said it. I'm giving you the reason why I said it and what it means.
That's
It's
not
not like
hyperbolic doesn't mean calling the person white in a way that implies that that's in some way impugning my ability to make a coherent argument.
do we want to go
is
over the
liberal
definition
identity
of hyperbolic? That's not identity politics. That's intersection. Like you have to be intersectional when we're talking
the
about.
idea that my argument is less valid, or that its validity is in some way. Hold on. Or that the validity of that argument is in some way determined by my race.
It's not about being invalid.
And what you just said, that my whiteness weighs on my perspective more than any other marginalization, and you did that so because that influences my perspective. So what you're saying is my race, in some way, shape, or form, influences the validity, or at least the thought process behind my takes.
No. I'm not saying it's because you are white that influences it. That is how your perspective is going to come across to like people of color. And so
I think people of color are perfectly capable of grappling with arguments without impugning me for being white.
There's already a bias there. That's all I'm trying to point out.
There's always a bias to everyone, but this is what lets people like Candace Owens get away with dismissing arguments because they are non-white. This is the definition of liberal identity politics. You
No,
give
it's not.
credence to arguments given by marginalized groups.
Yes, it actually is. So, yeah, I think already she has demonstrated my point for me. The tankies don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So, this is me reaching out to somebody, all of you, who have been bamboozled by these shiftless, grifting, weaselly fucks. If you were a fan, or are a fan, of Haas, Jackson Hinkle, Caleb Maupin, Mel on Twitter, Hakeem, Ugopnik, Second Thought, you know, any of the deprogram pod, that is, Yeah, any of them, anybody who claims that they are a Marxist-Leninist or Marxist-Leninist Maoist or thought, EJ and Luna Oi, yeah, non-compete Luna Oi, throw them there as well, even though Luna Oi is objectively actually just a state agent, uh, legitimately a state agent, total fed, um, and also a fascist. Anybody who's a fan of any of those content creators, I'm sorry you were lied to. I'm sorry you were bamboozled. I'm sorry that they cherry pick things to show you and tell you because you can you can read any of the books that they tell you, and then you can turn around and read better writers as well because not a whole lot of them will mention Franz Fanon. Some of them do, but not a whole lot. Uh, Almost none of them mention any of the anarchist writers. Go read some Proudhon. Go read some Kropotkin. Go read some Malatesta. Go read some Goldman. Go read some Luxemburg. Go read anarchist literature, and you'll recognize that Marx had quite a bit of an anarchist streak. Like there was a lot of anarchic principles in his writing, and that everything that Stalin did to bastardize Marxism is what set you on to this path that's essentially just fascism. And I can tell you why fascism. Okay, so what is what does what is the main economic prescription, or the main economic identifier of fascism? Like the main tenet. I've said it before, but it's rolling state and corporate power together. And that can take one of two main forms. You've got state control of industry, or industry becomes the state. Okay, we got that down. Other tenets of fascism, rejection of modernity, embrace tradition. That's one of them. Mm. Newspeak. That's another one. You know, fucking. There's a lot of points that I'm trying to. Action for action's sake. Thinking is a form of emasculation. So if we, as a matter of fact, I don't even necessarily need this here. Let me come over here and go here, and I'm just gonna pull this one up. Let me just pull up the list. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. What? I had that open, dumbass. Let's just take a look here, and let's go over these. So let's start with the economic prescriptions, and remember that's state and corporate power rolled together, taking one of two main forms: state control of industry or industry becoming the state. So let's take a look at that, and then think about the main countries that the Marxist-Leninists are huge on, and it's one that doesn't exist anymore, the USSR, the Soviet Union, and the other one is China. Okay, what was the economic model for both of those countries? State control of industry, state-run enterprise, everywhere. Okay, okay, that's pretty bad actually. That doesn't bode well. This is why I'm not in favor of command economies. What else? What else? Let's see. We got these here. Cult of tradition. The USSR really did like some of the old traditional depictions of men and stuff. and women. Um, Rejection of modernism. They didn't really like a lot of the of modernism. They weren't too big on, like actual democracy or anything. The USSR only had 10% of its party officials allowed to vote. Um, China is a little bit more accepting of democracy and Enlightenment values, but not really because they don't see people as equals and blah 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 blah. Kind of, cult of action for action's sake. Uh, USSR was more onto this than China. Disagreement is treason. Both countries. Both countries. You would disappear if you fucking criticized the government. If you thought that there was something incorrect that they were doing or were talking about or something, yeah, you were gone. You were taken off the census. They just removed you from life. Fear of difference. Oh yeah. All I gotta say is the USSR really didn't like a lot of the people that were in their like that were non like whatever the main ethnicity of Russia is. And all you got to do is take a look at Xinjiang and the Uyghur genocide that was going on in China and the fact that they were like hella uh, really fucked up to any non-Han Chinese ethnic group throughout the formation of modern China. Appeal to social frustration. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, a lot of movements do that, but they appeal to some really fucked up portions of social frustration. Obsession with a plot. All you have to do is take a look at Stalin. Stalin was obsessed with thinking that people had a plot to assassinate him and shit like that. Um, China mentions a plot by the United States to oppress them and shit. Yeah, like they have to push forward with this conspiracist type shit. The enemy is both strong and weak. Yeah, yeah. I don't know how much the USSR did that, but like China has both played the America is super strong, but also we could crush America type thing. A lot of countries have done that. North Korea has done that. That's another one that they like to stand as North Korea, even though it's objectively a monarchist fascist state. Pacifism is trafficking with the enemy, so yeah, if you don't want to take part in either side, you are considered an enemy. Yeah, contempt for the weak. Again, Stalin and all you have to do, especially now, look at like China's military recruitment shit. Everybody's educated to become a hero. This actually happens a lot in America, more so, I believe. I don't know the educational, uh, the curriculum on this side of things for Russia or China, so I couldn't say. I believe in the USSR it was a lot more of this, but yeah, machismo and weaponry. Yeah, they kind of were big on that with the hating gay people and big guns. They didn't like trans people, gay people, any of that. They just wanted you to have a normal, quote unquote, nuclear family. Selective populism. Oh, abso-fucking-lutely. All you have to do is look at what happened in Ukraine and also what happened in, again, Xinjiang. Earth fascism speaks newspeak. They had an impoverished vocabulary, which they were working towards in the USSR, but they didn't achieve. And I don't know about in China. Although they do essentially do double speak. Say one thing, mean the other. Or mean something different. And speak euphemistically a lot.
And
It's not, though.
wait, no, and you take validity away from groups or arguments made from groups that are privileged. This is, in addition to being a bad way of determining which arguments are valid, is also
Okay,
incredibly
so
effective
like
for
I don't know why
conservatives.
you. Okay, can we like talk about degrowth, please? Like I don't know why you're fixated on this race thing because I don't care. I wanted to talk to you about degrowth the entire time.
Oh,
Like,
don't
this is
worry,
why
we
I
only
think-
have about a dozen more tweets to get through, and then we can talk about the abstract ideas in their totality.
Yeah. Okay. And I actually don't want to go like fully over that. So, what did we learn? What have we learned here? Because what I've learned is that Mel not so smart. Is there filters on here that I've got active? Yeah, that one was. I don't know how the audio sounds like this, but it's alright. I've actually been streaming for... no way to know without doing this. Oh. So I'm gonna check, and I might go ahead and end up calling it. Yeah, at 6:47. I've been streaming for like an hour. Yeah, I've actively been on screen for an hour. Yeah, sorry I couldn't really game, but that's okay, because what I'm gonna do is try and fix that, and I will end up probably streaming later or tomorrow. One of the bigger deals is my birthday is on Monday. Okay, so what I'm gonna try and do, I'm gonna talk to some friends and see if they'll come over tomorrow or something, and, you know, be hanging out for some hours. And I know a lot of people don't actually know this, but currently, directly behind my monitors is a Nintendo Switch. And I have Super Smash Brothers. So we can get it. I want to do just a Super Smash Bros. With the homies. You know, I've got... I could potentially try and get my... some of my family over, but... like, immediate family, not extended family over, but not super likely. Yeah, thanks for showing up. Anybody who shows up here, watches this later, catches the VOD, hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Like, literally 99.6% of people who watch this channel are not subscribed, so, hit the button, y'all. Come on. Get me to 500 subs. Come on. 500 subs. That's the goal. All right. Anyways, I hope y'all take care of yourselves and have a wonderful night. Bye.